biscuit, not even a crust. All aboard for a fat boy trip, and you can call me captain. Don't forget the paper plates and the stack of napkins. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. Pizza party, pizza party. Gonna have a good time. Pizza party, pizza party. Have a sip of red wine. Yeah.
The little buds are blooming. All the spiders have their blonde wigs on, tap dancing, listening to Jimmy Durante. You know, that's how you know spring is in the air, and it's a beautiful time. How's everybody doing? Let me take a look at you. You've been taking care of yourself. I see. It's almost beach season, so I've been trying to. I found some vegetarian meatballs that taste very similar to my mother's. And man, I've been going to town on those, so I got to take it easy a little bit so I can fit into my, you know how it's back now. Did you hear that? Like the 1930s wool one-piece men's bathing suit. Let's bring that back. You know, nice and itchy for 90-degree weather. So I missed you all. It's been quite a month since I've last seen you. Let's just jump into it. All right. You probably see something if you're a real pizza party mozzarella museum aficionado. You might see something a little bit different back here. All right. I still got the mask. I still got Captain Lou, Sabbath, Ace. But I want to point to this over here. You see this? It's a little postcard. One of many. This is the Cramps, one of the greatest bands of all time. Lux and Poison Ivy. But I got to get serious here for a second. That was sent to me by one of my favorite human beings in the world, Scott Cthulhu, the originator of the Joey Royale's Pizza Party t-shirt and a good guy overall. He passed away in between, it was just a couple of days after the last pizza party. Scott was suffering from cancer for a long time, but he still made the trek to Total Con last year. He and his amazing sister Carrie drove all the way from Indianapolis to Massachusetts, and we got to play Weird Heroes and hang out. And then he and his friends, I got to meet them in Indianapolis at Gen Con. They spent a lot of time at the Goodman table. They were at Doug Con. Scott was able to take me out to his favorite pizza place. So on behalf of everybody in Spaghetti Land, to Scott, we love you. You're always going to be with us. You never. Right before he passed, we were talking on the phone. He goes, I'm afraid I'm going to be missing out on stuff. I said, Scott, you're never going to miss out on anything. We got all of our fun in, and we're going to keep it going. He has been canonized in Ninja City, the new drug demon disco. We got to thank you to him because he was a big part of this at Gen Con. Kerry, his sister, we could hopefully all be as lucky to have a sibling or a family member like you that helps us out up until the end. So we cheers with our mayor, which Scott would love, our Mayor McCheese glass of seltzer to Scott Cthulhu. We love you, and you will be missed, but you will always be part of our games. And while we're in the Mozzarella Mausoleum, you'll always be over my shoulder watching over us. So blessings to you, my friend. So what's new down here in the Mozzarella Mausoleum? Let's see here. Oh, well, wait a second. Whoa. Let's slow down. All right. I'm very excited tonight. I'm talking fast. All right. Because I got two of my favorite creators coming on again. These are repeat offenders. All right. These are good men, good people. All right. All the way from the boiling hot north, as I was just told. Marzio Muscedere will be with us. And Stephan Sarat, two awesome, prolific, nice, good-hearted people. We got Elena on the 1 and 2s. Elena, you are amazing. We love you. Speaking of Elena, speaking of Thompsons, how about this, all right? Look, I fell into something very nice, all right? I got a new car. It's not a new car. It's a very used car that was a hand-me-down from an elderly relative, all right? So I get in the car, and I'm like, man, I can't use there's no, I was going to say MP3. There's no Bluetooth, all right? There's no Bluetooth. There's nothing like that. There's a CD player. That's nice. But guess what it also has? A tape player. Right in your face. Dungeon Magic, Sky of Crimson Flame. Watch out, town. I'm going to be the only guy in town bumping this synth classic all over the place, making up my own lyrics. All right? Nice job, Thorin, you crazy son of a gun. Look at that. You got the blue on, I mean, the blue. Jesus, I'm losing it. The green. No, that's my jacket. The red. Woo! I'm rolling tonight, pals. So I got that. What else? I went, Crypto-Cool. Oh, man, I did a good job. I did a good job at, look, I'm crooked. All right, Joey, take a breath. I get excited for these things. I wait all month to see you all. I went to the book barn and I found a gem. I mean, nothing rare, except for the beauty that lies within. When's the last time you read Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak? Do yourself a favor. Go back to this book, all right? This is one, sometimes it's so classic that like you take it for granted. Hey, there's a Spike Jones movie and all that. There's the whatever, the toys. But man, take a second. Next time you're at the library, and you should be going to the library, next time you go to the library, go to the kids section and crack this bad boy open. It's a perfect story. Not even just a perfect children's story, a perfect story. Kid doesn't get what he wants, has the tantrum, disappears into the imaginary world. But man, and this got me. I don't know, maybe because I'm a little bit older and I got kids now too, or because my parents are getting older, or I have friends who are losing their parents. This guy he's the king. It's like the king of Monster Island, all right? But something happens at the end. Something happens at the end. Actually, in the middle. He smells something. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled something good to eat. If I had those monsters, I'd be partying. We'd be wrecking towns. But no, he smells the food. And he gives it all up. He gives up being the king of Monster Island because right there, Mom left dinner for him. Even though he was a disrespectful little brat, Mom left him dinner. Best last page of a book ever. And it was still hot. Isn't that nice? So for all you mothers out there, whether you're mothers of humans, mothers of animals, mothers of something, thank you very much for all your sacrifices and all that you do as Mother Day comes up. Now, I was reading a little bit about this book. Just wanted to learn a little bit about the history. This is like 64, something like that. And I got the coolest thing. And I said, this is perfect for the pizza party. You ready for this? Maurice Sendak was writing the book, and Max was not going to go to a land of monsters. He was going to go to an island of wild horses. I'm not making this up. I swear on my mother's eyes. This is at least what I read. All right. He was going to a land of horses. But guess what? Sendak didn't know how to draw a horse. So he says, I got some sketches that I used to do of my weird relatives from when I was a kid. I kid you not. So he started to do caricatures of his aunts and uncles. You know, they had big faces and the big yellow teeth. So he started to draw characters of them. Boom. You can do it. Sendak had it change midstream. I can't draw horses. I'll draw monsters instead. Nobody wants to go where the horses are. Come on. I mean, no offense. The horses are nice, but this is kind of more for like people like us, you know? So there's that, Where the Wild Things Are. Chef's Kiss Award. Now, speaking of that, where I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't do any of that, but I mess around and I love it. And like everybody at the pizza party, we're all students. I don't care if you're 80 years old or you're just about to be born, but we're always going to keep on learning. We're lifelong learners, although you can't let the dust settle on you. And I saw this posted somewhere, so this is not an original thought, nothing is, but this has been really, really honking my horn lately. This is fun. Now, if you are an artistic degenerate like me, who is really needs help just to get by, even to draw a smile, oh my God, Stefan's in the green room showing the same damn thing. Look, oh my God, I want to reach through I want to kiss him. Look. Ed Emberley's drawing book, Make a World. Learn how to draw the Ed Emberley way. I never heard it. Maybe I read him as a kid. I don't know. But I saw this, and this is such a cool book. I really want to become good or decent at cartography. You know, I can't even draw a pine tree, for crying out loud, to show where the woods are. All right. It looks like they dropped a box of feathers all over the place. But look, you get this book and they break everything down into a continuum of simple shapes. All right. So, for example, right here, I'm looking at an alligator, right? Joey Royale can't do an alligator, but I can do a rectangle, and I can add a triangle, and I can add another triangle, and I can add 4 triangles for the feet. Next thing you know, boom, you're Johnny Eyes-Out over here. All right. So this is really fun. It's a cool style, and it just breaks things down at a simplistic level. And I think this would be really cool for like a little zine or a map. And it's very digestible. So that's Ed Emberley's drawing book. That's a nice one. And as you know, like many of you, I'm a monster kid. And I do anything that Levi Combs tells me. So we talk all day long about cool things. And I learned so much on the little thread we got going with the Neon Lord and Ian McCarty and Dr. Metal. And he said, Joey, you're a monster kid. You got to pick this up. And geez, it just arrived yesterday in the mail. Anybody know about these fools? Victor Velcro, the vampire, the Creature Commandos. Holy cow. Across the ages, only one thing is ever present: the unexplained. There are always events beyond human understanding, and many of them are in the midst of man's greatest struggles. Enter the Creature Commandos, the weirdest warriors of all, created by a secret government organization to ruthlessly take down the cream of Hitler's killer elite. They are the human leader, Lieutenant Matthew Shreve, werewolf, Warwin Griffith, with a Chinese menu in his hand, vampire Sergeant Vincent Velcro, the Frankenstein's monster Private Elliot Lucky Taylor, and the Gorgon Dr. Mira Rhodes. Oh my goodness. Team up with G.I. Robot and the Creature Commandos to take on the Nazis. Oh, man. You're speaking my language over here. Look at this. Oh, my God. Covered by Joe Kubert, one of the greats. Beautiful thing right here. Somebody's got to stat this one up. Speaking of statting things up, let's go back in time. 1988. A very strange time as we entered the neon 90s, all right? We go from the avocado and the orange shag rug to the neon 90s, the turquoise and the magenta. And right on the cusp of the 90s, I should have worn gloves because these are precious items of nostalgic memorabilia. We got Lieutenant Leg, and we got the Fry Guy. Boom! Maroon. Food Fighters, Mattel, 1988. Man, I tell you, you know it. The 80s were so beautiful that you could walk into a store, $3.99, and you get a chicken leg with the M16 and a backpack. Yeah, you get the little helmets on them. I love these guys so much. They're way overpriced on the collector's market now. I found these at a yard sale. Mattel's Food Fighters. I used to have the whole set. I sold them at a yard sale when I was a kid, probably to buy more famous monsters. So I've been slowly collecting them. But man, imagine an adventure, a food-based adventure. You can tell I'm hungry. I didn't have dinner yet. I got dinner after the show. So a lot of food tonight. But check these guys out. They're great inspiration. Speaking of inspiration, I go back all the time. I told you I'm playing a game of Dungeon Crawl Classics. Pow! That's why we're here, right? Hello, Joseph Goodman. We love you. I'm playing a game every Friday at school during lunch and recess time with some 4th graders. They got through the Sailors of the Starless Sea. Now we're just making up crazy stuff because everything I throw at them, they chop down and it turns into something else. But these kids, and I've never been in a situation like this, not with my play group, but these kids, they're loot hungry. And that's something, starving. And that's something that, like, I'm not familiar with, right? Like, all right, here's a couple of gold coins with my older friends. They go and they gear up and all that. No. These kids want to start businesses. I got a kid killing mer people, filleting the flesh, and then deep frying it to sell fish sticks in the village that they have just landed in. Like, forget about going and clearing out the cave. These guys want to be we're role-playing entrepreneurship in a capitalist village. God bless them. Who cares? They're having fun. I'm learning a lot. So I had to dig deep into my treasure trove. And admittedly, this is one I had not cracked open. I just kept it because it was special, because it was number 2. Reverend Dak, what a beautiful person. But this is the loot issue. And I'll tell you what, if you're starting out and you want to like start your own zine, okay, and you don't know where to start, I highly recommend picking up Crawl number 2, just due to its simplicity, all right? This is not overflowing with art. This is overflowing with really nicely organized text. Not only believe the content's beautiful, but look, this is all you need, folks. You don't need to spend all your money, all right, on just blowing it all on art, but support the artist, believe me. But like, you can do this. Even if this was like a pamphlet, you get a beautiful picture of some loot. Who is that? This is by Lauren Simpson, all right? And then you get a nice table and just a little bit of narrative text, and you solve somebody's problem. And these things go like hotcakes. This issue in particular is just very nicely organized, and this is a great section. So this is a section here. These are NPCs, personalities from Sunken City. Remember Sunken City with the possum men and all that? That was one of the first modules I bought. But they tell you salespeople to go to if you're looking for certain things, or if you want to sell certain things. Like they got Aldrich Black Spider. So if you find something dark, chaotic, or unholy, you go to this schlub, and he'll give you a couple of coins here and there. Lady Dremple, find jewelry. Any strange object with a history. Gagrim the Collector. That's neat stuff. So you have different salespeople for different items, which inherently leads to more adventure. Just a nice thing. Support Dak. He has done something special, and we are all indebted to him. There is a newer crawl out right now. It is like 13, something like that. But that's on the Goodman Games site. And I'm going to go. I got one more thing I want to share with you that I've shared before, but I want to share again because this is gold. If you're watching the show, you need this book. I don't make any money off this, but Stu is my friend, and I love him. Monsters, Aliens, and Holes in the Ground. A guide to tabletop role-playing from D&D all the way up to Mothership. And everything in between, even the most outre, lost to the ether RPG, that came in the bag with the chits, it's in here. This guy, Stu, from the Vintage RPG podcast, shout out to the Vintage RPG podcast, shout out to Stu Horvath and Hambone McGuire down there in Jersey, one of my favorite humans, doing his thing. This is beautiful. And I just so happened, this was not planned, but last night, I got through the 70s. It's organized by decade. I got to the 80s, and lo and behold, I landed upon, there's a connection here, to Hero Quest. All right? I personally haven't played it. I really want to pick it up. And now I'm even more motivated to pick it up because that son of a gun, another one of my favorite humans, Levi Combs, right? Like I said, talk to the guy every day. We talk about our families, talk about food, talk about music, everything. Never brought it up once because he's humble and he's also keeps things confidential. Ladies and gentlemen, luscious Levi Combs, part of the family here, has created they're about to release it. Jungles of Delthrak Quest Pack. He wrote a Hero Quest adventure pack, and it's coming out big time, baby. Levi, we love you. Congratulations on all your successes, and I'm glad you're feeling better. So check that out, the Jungles of Delthrak, when that comes out for Hero Quest. That's the crew we're rolling with these days, folks. Goodman Games, this family, we're taking over. Speaking of family, I got this in the mail. This was very cool. Kyle Jameson did a pamphlet for Weird Heroes of Public Access. Still getting over the bronchitis. Where it's a small town theater in Fairhaven that, for some reason, They only used to do Vampire Cinema Night on every full moon, but now Fairhaven's got the full moon all the time, so it's just a Vampire Cinema now. And there's a whole, I'm not going to spill it, there's a pamphlet, whole bunch of weird stuff in there. And then this other thing that I got, I don't know if you heard of this. And Ninja City Drug Demon Disco just sent out my last orders this afternoon at the post office. Thank you to all the supporters that backed this. Thank you to everybody from Gen Con, the D24 clan, that helped me come up with this. You guys are all represented in here as some sort of Easter egg. But this is en route to the Goodman Games warehouse today. That went out, and all the backers should be receiving it, either have received it. An international went out today as well. This will eventually be on the Goodman Games website and also on my Etsy after a couple of weeks when the smoke clears. But we got some fun stuff right here. Here's a command dude. So if you lose the breakdancing battle against the other ninja clan, you have to fight the command dude who bursts out of the cardboard with an Uzi and a Bowie knife. So, typical fare. How we doing? All right, 20 minutes into it, and I'm feeling good. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always being there for me. Let's go into a wisdom check. 2 pieces again, almost at the end of the Rick Rubin book. Okay, The Creative Active Way of Being. Here's what Rick Rubin says about creativity. Okay, here we go. That's not the one I wanted. Let's see. Where is it? I'm sorry, I lost my place here. I can play. Let's go right off the cuff. Anywhere you open up in this book, it's a good one, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Because it's related to Sendak. Sometimes the mistakes are what makes a work great. Humanity breeds in mistakes. I've said it a million times. I have learned more than anything in my life from the mistakes rather than anything else. My mistakes have been my greatest teacher. As long as you're not hurting people, mistakes can be very healthy. All right. I don't know how to paint. So I go downstairs and I make mistakes and I clean up the mistakes and I add more stuff to the mistakes until the mistake is no longer a mistake. And really, mistakes are really just how you perceive your work. Just whittle it down a little bit, fix it, polish it, add another color, change the green to red. It's no longer a mistake. It's a beautiful work of art. And let those mistakes guide you to your next step. We're going to go once again to Robert and Rye. And this is very important. Now, we don't have this issue in the Goodman Games community, and I'm very proud about that. So let's put the spotlight on the communalism, the community, the helping each other out. Robert Henry, now he's speaking about painters, but it can go for anything. He says, we must realize that artists are not in competition with each other. Help the young artist. Find for them means to make their financial ways easier, that they may develop and fruit their fullest, but let us not ask them to please us in doing it. If we find individually that any of their works please us, let us buy as far as we can and rouse others to buy from them according to their personal choice. In doing this, there will be quite enough judgment exercised. In fact, if we become in this way participators in the new adventures, it is likely that our powers of judgment will broaden. I cannot conceive of myself as a buyer only of old pictures, turning my back on the adventures of today. I wonder if this guy rolled dice. Finally, I say, don't force I love this, so I'm getting there. Don't force the prize game on the deserving young artist. Leave it for the old children of our own generation to play with and let it die with them. Now, I know we all create because we have to create, because we love to create. It's like werewolf blood, right? But it's nice to make a couple bucks here and there. And when you make a couple bucks, you can then bring more ideas to life. And some of us aren't in the position where we can contribute to every Kickstarter or buy everything off the Goodman Games site. You got to put a roof over your head. Things are expensive these days. All you really need to do, and this goes for everybody, but if you like my stuff, just send me a message and say, hey, I liked what you did. Or if you don't like it, let me know. Just say, hey, what were you thinking when you wrote this? But the best thing you can do is worth more than gold to a lot of people right now is reshare their work. All right. I got this crew of people that just kind of happened organically. They come out with something, we all share it. And that beats any sort of algorithm or paying for, like the ads on Instagram and all that. It's easy to get caught up in that. Help your friend out. If you just reshared or like, hey, look what I got in the mail. Oh, not only does that make their day, that goes out to like 1,000 people. And that's how word spreads. So that's all you need to do. Champion the artist, whether it's you or your friends, no matter what they're doing. It's as cheap as opening up your phone, typing in your passcode, and just pressing, look what I got in the mail. Holy cow, my friend is awesome. Boom. Instant commercial that goes out into the world. Can you do that for us? Help each other. I know we do that for each other all the time. Don't lose sight of that. All right? You're right. You're right, Elena. It costs absolutely nothing to hit that share button. Let's see. All right. How do I get Vampire Cinema? I think Vampire Cinema is on drive-through. And if it's not out there, I'm going to I'll put it up on my Facebook page. Okay. Listen, I see my friend Bradley McDevitt. Bradley, there you go right now, folks. You want to help out a good friend? Poor Jess. She's back in the hospital again. All right. She's going to be okay, but they got a lot of bills stacking up. Brad's got a GoFundMe right now. You can check that out. That's floating around the DCC world. Help them out. And on top of it, the guy who is a legend in his own time, and I really stand by that. Brad McDevitt, to me, he's up there with all the Mount Rushmores from the original book. All right. Brad is selling art way too cheaply, Brad. But hey, you do what you want. It's beautiful stuff. You get pieces of Goodman Games history up on his Etsy shop. Check out A Great Person. There you go right there. There's an artist that you celebrate. I also highly recommend him if you have any commissions you need to do. The guy is top notch. He helped me with my first product. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Not only was he a mentor, but he very quickly became a friend. We were talking at night about music, politics, everything. I love the McDevitts. Help them out. Okay. All right. Very good. So we got to do one more thing. We have our Garbage Kid Tarot of the Month, and we pulled a good one. This might hit for some of you. I know a lot of people are going through a difficult time right now. Even when the sun is starting to shine, I've read a lot of people have been sick and have lost loved ones. So here's an interesting one. We have Heartbreak Harvey. Okay. The Three of Swords reversed. Like I said, I pull this right before the show and I say, what does everybody in Spaghetti Land need to hear right now, oh great Oracle? Three of Swords upside down. Ready? A major emotional upheaval has rocked your world. But the Three of Swords, when reversed, shows that you're healing. The swords are falling out of your heart and you're on the mend. It takes time to get closure and move on from heartbreak. Boy, it sure does. Be patient with yourself and trust that you're well on your way to feeling better. Ooh, that sounds good for some of us out there, doesn't it? Listen, you're never alone. We all have each other here. And that's what makes this community so important. And I never, ever take that for granted. And you know what I don't take for granted either? Real good friends. And I got two of them coming on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I got two handsome guests tonight. I got to do two spritzes. A little sip of seltzer so I don't get the little dry mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the north, or maybe it's the south, as we just talked about. Ladies and gentlemen, Marzio Muscedere, a true Paisan. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Joey? How's everybody doing out there in Pizza Land?
And I am flabbergasted that I got you and Stefan on the same night. Two prolific heavy hitters doing the Dark Lord's work. How you been, brother?
I've been excellent. Excellent, Joey. Thank you for having me on. It's a lot of fun here. I can't wait to get back on the pizza party. I can't wait.
I love having you on. You're really like a cousin to me. Now, listen, before when we were in the green room before having a couple of Zimas, you had mentioned that I always do this. Oh, Canada, I always think Canada's snowy, alpha flight, all this stuff. But you went swimming today, you crazy son of a gun.
Yeah, I was in the pool today, man. Up here in Kid. Did I get all my sunscreen in right? Is it? Did I smear it in properly?
You got a nice little tan going on there. That's the
Yeah,
blood.
man. I just rolled out of the pool for the first time in the year here. So,
jeez, and you were telling me you're south of Detroit.
absolutely, yeah. I am the most southern possible tip of Canada. To travel to Detroit, I have to head north.
That is wonderful. That is absolutely what I never knew. You teach me something every time.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
geography
lesson.
You got a whole bunch of stuff on the stove right now. You got meatballs. You got sausages. You got the marinade good cooking over here. You got a Kickstarter right now. All right.
Yep.
I am stoked for this Kickstarter. All right. We got it's so. Lady's gonna put it in the chat. Check it out. Murder House. We cannot have enough funnels. We cannot have enough Marzio. Let's go. Elevator pitch Paisan.
Murder House. So Murder House is a DCC horror themed adventure. It's a 0-level funnel, and it's the adventure gives homage to all the haunted horror literature and movies that I grew up loving and still love to this day. So Fall, the House of Usher,
yes.
Pigeons from Hell, House of Hell, the Haunting of Hill House. All these things kind of are incorporated in this one adventure. Funny thing, this thing was written at the height of COVID. So you want to talk about horror?
Yeah.
COVID hit. You know, everybody's got that downtime. I had only written at that point. I believe it was. I only. What's it called? Star Wound of Abaddon. Sorry.
Yeah.
The only publication I had for Joseph was Star Wound of Abaddon. So I wrote up this Murder House. I pitched it to Joe. Probably the worst time to pitch anything when COVID hits, right? Because he doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah, right.
He kind of said he loved the adventure. Let's table it for a bit. And then once COVID lifted, I had all these other projects because Michael Curtis kind of started running the show there. And this thing just sat, almost finished on my computer for years. And finally I said, you know what? I got to kickstart this thing. This is one of the funnest adventures I've run. I always have a hoot when I run it. So there it is. That's Murder House.
And Pigeons from Hell. That is is that a Robert Howard story?
Robert E. Howard story, yeah.
Oh, and my God. I love, man. And Bradley just mentioned it. Bradley's excited about Pigeons from Hell too. Did you, in all caps, did you mention the Pigeons from Hell? I remember reading that, and that chilled me to the bone.
Joey, you got to check out is there's an old, it's also a radio drama, but there's an old TV show called Suspense. I believe it's Suspense.
with Boris Karloff.
Yes, they did a Pigeons from Hell. It is fantastic.
Out of here. I think that's streaming.
Yeah, it's streaming. You can watch it.
Write this down. Suspense, Pigeons from Hell.
Yes.
Hey, folks, if you haven't read, it's a nice little short story, quick one. If you haven't read Pigeons from Hell, Robert E. Howard of Conan fame, beautiful, well-crafted horror tale. Pigeons from Hell. Nice. Wow.
Yeah, so when I say, like, you know, I read all these books and watched all these movies, the plot for the adventure is very much my own. But I wanted to get that feel of what a haunted house feels like and smells like, you know what I mean? What it really, you know, to get my fingers in there, try to figure out how to make a thematic haunted house. So that's what I used all that extra, you know, all that reading. That's what that was for, rather than just lifting a plot wholesale from one of these books.
So what does a haunted house smell like?
Oh yeah, the devil. No, the devil's crackers. No, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I mean, and then I can't stop watching Vincent Price movies either. That's another thing I always do. So,
and it's funny. I wish they had smell-o-vision, because I wasn't joking about what does a haunted house smell like. I've brought this up many times before. The scene in the beginning of Salem's Lot in the book, where he's walking up the stairs of the Marston house for the first time to discover the hanging man, or the vision of the hanging man in the closet, and the description that Stephen King does of just the yellowed newspapers. And I could just smell that. You know, we've all broken into abandoned houses before. Well, I have known some people who have broken into abandoned houses before, or have done some urban exploration, and there's that musk. There's that musk that gives you goosebumps, that in the middle of summer, you get that cold chill up your spine, Mars. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, my wife always buys these candles, and then one it was a booklet of different scents, and one of the scents is haunted house. And I'm like, how did you not buy this yet? How does not our house smell like a haunted house? We just have to buy this immediately. So
that's, you know what, when I was younger, somebody, a friend, once gave me a bottle of perfume that I used to wear by the brand Demeter, and it was Funeral Home, and it smelled like orchids and dust. It was beautiful. I gotta get that for the summer. Yeah.
The brand, like named after the Dracula boat.
Oh, you're right. The brand is Demeter. Yeah, named after, and they got like Play-Doh, cut grass, all that kind of stuff. But Funeral Home. Oh, that was great.
Home. I love
that. Was great. Yeah. So, but now look, you got that, but we also have something else. I was going to bed last night. I was going through the internet world, and I came across a whole bunch of stuff that just hit the Goodman Games site like yesterday, or they advertised it yesterday. Blood and Thunder, Ultimate Book of Mighty Deeds, 1. Then you got Mighty Peasant Deeds, 2. And then you got, look at my mask. Look what you did to my mask. Oh, crazy. And then I got the Mighty Peasant Deeds deck. Come on.
Yeah. I went all in on the deeds. Like I wrote in the foreword to the book, that's kind of where I got my feet wet in the whole DCC world, right? That's the first thing I ever put out was the Steel and Fury Mighty Deeds. And that's what drew me to DCC, the whole idea of these Mighty Deeds. I mean, combat for me has always been combat in games. It might have been the least of my favorite part of a role-playing game. Now, it doesn't say I don't like combat. I love combat.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Because I wouldn't have written all these books if I didn't. But it could be tedious sometimes, right? So these deeds drew me in. How do I, without all feats, how do I mimic the exploits of all the characters of Conan and Cull and all these people? So it's been 10 years since that book came out, and I just went full throttle, and I created 150 of them, and I put them all in one book, and that's it. And then I made a deck for the peasant deeds.
I love that.
Each occupation has its own mighty peasant deed, and these cards come in handy too, because like when we game, it also does like marching order, and sometimes I just deal out cards for character creation and whatever card you get, because there's one for each occupation. So
I'm picking that up. That's going to be awesome. That is going to be so cool. So in sincere, this is a real question here for everybody out there. So you are, you have a day job. You're not a full-time writer, correct?
Correct. Yes.
You got a family. You have other hobbies. You coach and do all sorts of stuff. What is how? And it seems I've known you for a while, and I say I know you enough to say you come across as a good person. We always talk about family. You got a good family. You got good standings in your community. You've coached kids and adults and all that. So where do you find the time? And how do you keep going? So a lot of us have this dream of grandeur where we are going to become writers and that's all we're going to do. So how do you carve out time for this pursuit while still being a good friend and family person? And 2, how do you balance just the philosophy of the normal life and the creative life?
Yeah, those are great questions. I think number one is you have to have a passion for it. I don't know why, Joey. I'm telling you the truth from like when I was in grade school. Yeah, I always envisioned I always wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write novels. I loved reading, and I always wanted to be like, in grade 6, grade 7, it was the Dragonlance novels. Then it went on to Robert E. Howard and stuff. And I always wanted to write, and I always gamed. And as a child, right, D&D, Top Secret, all the classic games. And I don't know. So there's a passion there for me to do it. I always wanted to do it. It was something that was important to me. And I just like anything in life, right? And you brought it up earlier, right? Like there's no Maserati parked in my driveway because I write RPG games, right?
Yeah.
But to me, something is so humbling and fulfilling to think. Like look at the age we live in. We have Netflix, everything's on your phone. There's so much to do. The idea that someone A, spent their money, but more importantly, B, took the time to play a game I wrote with their family and friends is absolutely the most rewarding thing ever. And when I wrote The Doom That Came to Christmas Town, all the people tell me that they spent their holidays playing that game.
That's become like a classic, man.
I can't tell you how much that meant to me. I was just envisioning like family and sitting around a kitchen table playing my game with all this stuff in the world that they could choose instead of it, right?
Mars, I've seen pictures of that, literally. I've seen pictures of families sitting around. This is the first time I have my family, my mom and dad's ever played. I've seen that.
Yeah. So to me, that's incredible to me. Like, that's incredibly rewarding. That being said, if you're a recluse, eccentric billionaire with your own space program and want to buy 200,000 copies of my book, change my life. You know what I mean? Go for it.
Yeah.
Right. And there's always that dream of one day being able to do this, and that's all I do, right?
Sure.
Can that ever happen? Who knows? We're going to find out, I guess. That's my saying, right? We're going to find out if that can ever happen.
And I always wonder, and I worry, like, say one of us had that opportunity, to be the full-time writer. I wonder personally, just because of the way my brain works, if I did not have the day job and the challenge of that, I wonder if I would be as productive, or have the gas for the passion engine to keep on putting this stuff out, so you got to be careful what you wish for. Yeah.
It's a great point. A lot of people, if you don't mind me sharing this with people, a lot of people ask me the same questions you, how did you get into it? I would love to write something. And I was the same guy. I would go up to Daniel Bishop and just nonstop bug him, right? I'd find Brendan LaSalle and nonstop bug him. Like, what do you do? How do you write so much? This is crazy. You write an adventure every 2 months. And it was all foreign to me. And you know what I found the answer to be? And it's the answer that I've already had the answer because I've been preaching it to everybody I've coached my whole life.
Yeah.
Talent only gets you so far.
Yep.
Right? Don't look at me and think I'm talented because I'm really not. It's dedication, it's discipline, it's perseverance. These things allow you to write an adventure. These things allow you to do anything. You can't control how much talent you have. You can absolutely control your effort. And so discipline, dedication, perseverance. At home, are you going to watch TV or play a video game? Or are you going to sit in front of your computer and bang out something and actually finish it? And I think anybody can do it that puts their mind to it. I don't have a writing degree. I didn't take English. I'm not an English major. You know what I mean? I'm a dude who reads. I'm a dude who watches movies. And I like to throw some words on a page and hopefully it makes sense for people.
Fill your brain with good stuff and surround yourself with people who are great examples, who are doing cool stuff. Yeah. Mars, you're a gem.
Writers get a bad rap, man. Like if like there's a guitar, somebody comes over my house and sees a guitar. No one asks me if I'm playing Madison Square Garden, right? But if they see that you're writing, the first thing they want to know, how much money did you make, right? That's all they want to know. Like they see golf clubs, they don't figure I'm on the tour. But you tell someone you write, that's their first question. Well, how much money you make? You have a book
make deal? A living off that? Yeah.
You can write just like any art form. You can paint, not know what the hell you're doing. You can write and not know what the hell you're doing. Just do it. Just do it.
Man, you got me floating right now, Mars. I love talking to you. Yeah. Let's bring another friend to the party, Mars. You go with that?
Well,
here's
absolutely.
Another guy whose brain I just adore. You've seen him on the Goodman Games channel with Rules of Written with Grape Ape, another beautiful person. We got Stephan Sarat tonight. Stefan, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good, Joey. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be here with two wonderful faces. Two wonderful people.
I was chomping at the bit to let you in. I see you nodding, and I know you have so much to offer. Before we get into the philosophical and the creative, it's not separate from this. You got a double dip Kickstarter right now. You're a complete nut. Tell everybody about what you're working on, what you got going on right now, as Elena puts it in the chat.
And in some ways, it's a triple dip because I've got a Weird Frontiers thing that's 2 adventures. I'm doing a double feature thing because I got one. I'm like, it's too short. I don't want to publish that. Well, I just do another one because I don't want to make a 5,000 word adventure grow to 10,000 words. It's good as the 5,000 word adventure. Let me just write another good 5,000 word adventure. So I got that Big Trouble for a Little Blood, which is very inspired by a wonderful John Carpenter film. And the
Halloween.
That's it. Yeah, it's so it's full of kung fu vampires. So I think you would probably love it, Joey. And then
you're kidding me? That's everything to me.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
That's my life. That's my obituary. He liked vampires and kung fu. That's it.
And then the second Weird Frontiers thing is it's in the same little book. It's Sinister Secret of the Slugman, which kind of, a little riffing off the classic TSR adventure.
Yep.
It's got
Yep.
a couple similarities, but very much both of them very much their own thing. But then I'm really here because I made a Fairhaven scene. WHPA.
Woo-hoo!
Visitors to Fairhaven is what I'm calling it, and it's super fun. Levi is actually the one who introduced me to WHPA.
Oh, really?
It was at North Texas RPG Con last year. Lou had a booth there. I was standing talking to him, and Levi walks up and says hi. Says, "Hey, that Elfland zine of yours is pretty good. Oh, WHPA, Stefan, have you read any of this?" And he just like gushed over it for like 2 minutes. I looked at Lou and I said, "Lou, give me one of each of them." I haven't even opened the cover. I just said, "Give me one of each." That's all
Oh,
Levi
thank
said.
you.
I know.
Thank you
And
very
yeah,
much.
and when I read that introduction you have in there, this is for you. I was like, is he speaking to me? He's not
Of
speaking to her.
course.
He's speaking to me. So,
Only certain people does that appear in the zine. For most people, when they open
of
up that
course.
page, it's just a blank page. So if you were actually able to read that, any of you out there, if you're actually able to read that, that means it was really for you. There's magic in there. So thank you, Stefan. So who are we going to meet in Fairhaven? I don't want you to spoil too much.
Yeah, so I have like a fun adventure in there. I had just I wrote it like right after I finished binging the last season of Riverdale. So there's a little bit of inspiration.
Good.
So my little, thing I say for that, the adventure, it's filled with drugs, murder, possession, prophetic comic books, prophetic comic books, cultists, and teen pregnancy. So, it's got everythting you want.
It's like a basic Friday in the Royale household.
But I also I started writing like I want some random tables to help me just roll up something quickly at the table, craft an adventure. I started making them for myself, and then I had like 6 ideas, and then I was like, well, I actually got like 11 ideas, but this game only uses D6s. I'd like a table I can use with just a D6. Can't do it 2D6. Then I got a bell curve, and I'm gonna have like one visitor to town who's way more common than all the others. Let's do D66. I'm gonna come up with 36 of them. So I got 30, D66 table for like weirdos who can come to town, strange places you can find, and just like weird junk to complicate the lives of your players. So try to stick a bunch in there.
I'll tell you, even if it wasn't connected to something, the weird my weird heroes, it is very, very well done. And I just want to thank you for investing your creativity and passion into it, because you really not only did clearly we had some similar experiences, in towns and stuff like that, but you also added a little bit of your own voice, and it was very well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I grew up in, a small little town in Texas. When I was a little kid and I was like 7 years old, the closest McDonald's was about an hour drive away. So, it was a small little. So, yeah, they had the weird small town vibes of like the quirky people who, they live right across from Main Street, but they got a bunch of pigs in their backyard.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the guy that wears too many sunglasses. We had one of those guys. What do you need him for? It was great. The whole head of sunglasses.
Yeah, and and I remember the public access television that, it's no longer there, but I remember those weird commercials for the local businesses and all the junk movies. So yeah, I'm a little younger, but the small town vibe continued into my day, or at least in my
what
childhood.
was the weirdest store in your town growing up?
Cavalcade of Magic.
What?
It was called the Cavalcade of Magic, and it was like all these little magic tricks, and everyone wanted to go to the Cavalcade of Magic. I don't even know if I ever bought anything out of there. I'm sure I did, but and it was like
I got
one of those
goosebumps, like literal goosebumps right now. The Cavalcade of Magic.
And it was one of those places your parents didn't want to take you because they knew they'd end up buying you some garbage that would be scattered all over the house.
Yeah,
but it wasn't too far from my house, and we would go there, and it was dark. It was exactly what you think it was. I don't know. This guy was like summoning demons in the back room for sure, because I don't remember there even anything being for sale. It was just dark with curtains, and there was.
There's those places where nothing is for sale. I know that guy. That guy. I've met him many times. We had Winkler's Warehouse of Wonders, which was a magic shop in a guy's basement. It was amazing. And the cool thing was, like, that was back in '89. I was able to take my son and daughter there a couple of years ago. Guy's still running it. You got to call him. He goes downstairs. He turns off the TV, goes downstairs on a Saturday, says, hey, here's all my stuff. Almost lost my house, but it was worth it. Nice. Stephan, tell me a creature that we will come across in big trouble for a little blood.
Oh, I mean, it's a whole lot of kung fu vampires, but we got different varieties of kung fu vampires, basically. You know, I'm taking, you know, you got kung fu vampires with like the smoke sticks who are gonna like put green smoke out into your face, and then you're blinded and coughing, and then they drink your blood. Or, you know, you might go to that, you know, little dockside bar, and the cook starts backflipping and hitting you with frying pans and stuff. And, you know, there's some ladies of the night in very much a double entendre in there, who, you know, might also have a thing, or might have a nice word for you before they, you know, sink their teeth into your throat.
Very, very, oh man, you guys are killing me. We got haunted houses, we got peasants, and we got kung fu vampires. What a time it is to be alive and a gamer in the Goodman Games community. I wonder, I mean, Joseph Goodman's gonna be coming on the show in a couple of episodes. And I gotta craft a question like, did you ever realize what you were unlocking? The nuts that are lining up to redefine what a role-playing game adventure module is. What other scene is this, I'll say eccentric, all right? Amazing. Stefan, what have you been reading lately?
I've been rereading the King in Yellow again, which I wrote my stuff
yesterday. That's what I got. I got King in Yellow, the collection with the creature commandos. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've been rereading it. I've you know, I kind of read it in like I wrote my adventure for Visitors of Fairhaven, and then I read it, and I kept on being like, you know, yeah, let's see, and I started sticking stuff in there, you know, like this red flower, now it's a yellow flower, and you know, I just keep on changing little things. It's like it basically like started infecting every aspect of the WHPA zine that I did there, which is very King in Yellow. Yeah, that's exactly. So, you know, I'm going through, I'm like, oh yeah, these visitors who are in town because of their mom, and this is the last thing she mentioned. Now she mentioned something different before she left to come to Fairhaven, and like, oh, these weirdos in town. Now the, you know, the creepy yellow-skinned, you know, homeless man shoves, you know, a piece of crumpled paper into your pocket, and you know, like, yeah, it started, you know, at first it was like a little, you know, it was on the goofier side. There's plenty of goofiness in there, but yeah, it started getting a little creepier and creepier as I read that. I kept on going back and changing things.
Amazing. I love how you described that. Marzio, what movie do I need to watch tonight before I go to bed?
Movie you need to watch. Oh my God.
What's something you come across recently?
You know what I just watched that I love?
That's what I'm at. Yeah.
The Shogun TV series, whatever it was, on FX. I can't even believe that got made in today's world.
The Shogun series on FX.
Yeah, Shogun. I just loved every minute of it. And it's not even in English, man. It's all subtitled. I love it. I can't believe this thing got made. It's like somebody wanted to make a real TV show for once in their life. And it was awesome. I loved every minute of it.
Hey, that's perfect. Yeah, and Elena's saying she's heard nothing but great things about Shogun.
Yeah, perfect. I just finished it. I binged it. I rarely binge anything because I love watching stuff, but you know, it's piece here and there. I couldn't stop watching it.
I can't watch a movie straight through these days. I pass out halfway through. It's like I need short story movies, but a show would be great. Shogun, very good. So King in Yellow and Shogun. We'll come back and report upon that in the June episode of Pizza Party. Now, I am going to be getting in a car, driving up to upstate New York, right on the border of Canada, picking up the Neon Lord, and heading out to Gen Con in August. All right? So, Marzio, you're going to be there.
Absolutely. I'm going to be there for the second time, but the first time for real, because I was there for a cup of coffee one time.
For a cup of coffee?
No, it's a long story. I'll tell you when we were there. But...
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll go out to eat. So stop by. We're going to be at the Goodman Games booth. We'll be hawking the wares. I'm going to be running some X-Crawl tournament games, which I've never done before. Either ran X-Crawl or in a tournament game. So, hey, fingers crossed I don't flip the table over. That'll be a blast. All right. Check out Stefan's Kickstarter. Elena put that in the chat. Check out Mars's Kickstarter. She put it in the chat. And then on the Goodman Games website, these guys have a ton of other stuff up there. All right. So check out some of the best guys in the biz. And another best guy in the biz, Stefan's partner on Rules is Written. I want to take a shout out to Grape Ape. Grape Ape doesn't have to do this. He's all the way down in Texas. The guy set an alarm before my show and before my radio show, and he always checks in with me, whether it's a text or a phone call, every couple of weeks. And it means the world to me. It was so great, buddy, to hear your voice. Everybody's so used to messaging or texting, but to hear your voice on the phone right before this show meant the world to me. So thank you for that gift. You're a great person. Folks, there's a lot of great things going out there in the world, and you have all of us to support you. You have limited time on this planet, so do something with your superpower, because we all have a superpower in us. And like Marzio said, sometimes even those things that aren't superpowers, if you work hard enough, you're going to be able to create something that turns from a funny mistake into something beautiful. I love, Mars, how you said it was just sitting on the shelf. I went back on my computer, like in the Google Drive, and I flipped the date modified thing just to see, like when I first started using Google. And I said, holy cow, I'm set, baby. I got all these eggs. All I got to do is sit on them and wait for them to hatch. Don't leave those things abandoned. Go back to your old notebooks. Like, no, not that one. Even older, the older notebook that you almost forgot about with that girl's number in. Take a look at some of those little seeds that you wrote, and maybe it's time. Maybe it wasn't time then. Maybe you thought it was a failure or a mistake, but just a little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of the tester's paint, you might have a hit right there. So tend to that. Before we go, we're going to visit Frederico's House of Friendship. That's right, Freddie Rogers. So recently, check this out, all right? I'm in education, and I'm on this council that deals with a lot of schools all over my state. And a bunch of us got together, and we lobbied with some legislators to make purposeful play a law that teachers have the ability and will not be reprimanded, and it will be part of every school system's public education system, that children in kindergarten and all the way up to grade 5 should have play embedded in the classroom. I'm not talking about recess. This is law now. We do purposeful play where kids have, where I'm at, we have 40 minutes to start the day. The kids come in, they get breakfast, and for 40 minutes, all they do is play as the teacher goes around and facilitates learning connected to the national standards. So the other day, I walked into a classroom that the kids had transformed into a puppet theater. You had the kids at the register, you had a kid buying tickets, you had fake popcorn, and then you had the puppet show, you had the menus, the pamphlets. That's how we're getting kids to learn. And we're doing the same thing, adults. You're not that big, We're all kids inside. Make sure you're feeding that kid. So let's talk about play. Because at the end of the day, we take, you know what? For a bunch of people that sit around and roll dice and pretend we're elves, we take ourselves pretty seriously sometimes on the internet. Am I crazy, Mars and Stefan? Jeez, take it easy. We're playing. Stop killing each other out there. Oh, this guy's this, or this game stinks. Get out of here. All right? You don't like it, go play Candyland. Or go do something adult. Go do something dusty, like paint a wall. Playing, here's Freddie, right? I'm losing it, folks. Playing is one of the most important things you can do when you're a child. And if you're learning to make up your own kind of play with whatever plaything you have, you're learning one of the most important things for growing. He said that to kids, but that goes for adults as well. The whole thing, it's a con. Growing up, it's a con. Don't do it. Support yourself. Support your family. Get out of bed and do something in the morning. but don't forget to play. It's the most important thing in the world. Life is too short. We're shackled to day jobs and responsibilities and bills and taxes and all that stuff. You owe it to yourself. Laugh, roll some dice, put on some funny ears. All right, look at this. You know, get a funny outfit. I was walking the dog a couple months ago and I had a funny outfit on and the spirit just came over me. And I said, hun, get the camera out. And boom, that's how the legend of Dr. X was born. Not planned. Listen, you know what I want you to do? We went for a nice walk last week. Here's your assignment this week. I dare you to wear a funny outfit, an outfit that sets you apart from the crowd. I decided I was going to spend my weekends dressed as a supervillain on Saturdays, and then I was going to dress, because I was so into Ninja City, as a breakdancer on Sundays. And guess what? I'm still doing it. Every Saturday, it's Supervillain Saturday for me. If you see me at the Stop and Shop, I'm in costume. And on Sundays, I wear a gold chain and a tracksuit, and I eat a bunch of spaghetti. And it's nice to have those things just to let loose and be a little crazy. Don't take yourself too seriously. I love all of you so much. You bring me so much joy. Go out there and have fun. Mars, Stefan, you guys are so awesome. This flew by. We're already at 9 o'clock. I wish you all the best in your Kickstarters. I'm going to be picking them up. Folks, check them out. Once again, go to Bradley's Etsy store. All right. Lost Tower art. You can buy Piece of History right now. All right. No, Dark Tower. What do I say? Lost Tower. Dark Tower. Check it out. Help it out. It's free to share your friend's project. Do that. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I know it's going to be tough for some of you that lost your mother, but we're all there for each other. We'll get through it. Do something for yourself. I love you. I'll see you in June. Ciao, paisans!